Hi there, this is Mark, and I am in the new yoga room at one of the places where I teach. And it's a law office, and they actually converted one of the spaces into the official yoga room. So when I come to teach, this is the room I have. Very cool. They have a shelf with props and goodies and water that's made that has fruit in it and all fancy. So here we are for the Golden Present Daily Inspirational Readings by Sri Swami Satchidananda, and this is for September 14th. And the topic is It's Super Surrender. This is a question and answer format. Question to Swami Satchidananda. Do we have to accept whatever karma comes, or can we try to change it a little bit? And Swami Satchidananda, Sri Gurudev says, if we know that we are instruments and nothing is in our hands, then accepting and changing are not in our hands either. It's very simple. If you are prompted to accept, then accept it. If you are prompted to change, then change it. Even that will be prompted. Something will tell you, come on, go ahead and try to change it. Then your answer should be, okay, God, if that's what you want, let me do it with your backing. You are prompting me, so I am doing it. It's super surrender, and life is really beautiful that way. All you have to do is follow his lead. The brush never tells you, oh, touch here, touch there, use a broader stroke. You simply be the brush and let him paint whatever he wants. He is seeing the whole picture, and it will be a masterpiece. Well, I couldn't help it in that last part. I was thinking right away about, when I paint, which it's been a little while since I've really focused in on painting. Yeah, there wasn't this conscious effort of like, okay, paint a stroke here, paint like here, paint. Right. There's something that just starts to happen. This intuition takes over, and some of it's maybe logic and reasoning and balancing composition, and there's some technical stuff going on, but there's also just this feeling of knowing to let my hand go for it. So it's interesting to feel that through my own hand, this feeling of that intuition coming through when I'm creating a piece of art, and that was a nice reference here. But what about all the other parts of life? What about, when I'm walking down the street, when I'm getting on a train, when I'm teaching a yoga class, when I'm hanging out with family and friends? Can I see that it's just something moving through me and creating those brush strokes? Or am I turning this into a whole technical experience where I feel like I'm consciously designing, constructing, and organizing every single moment with intellectual thought? It's interesting just to take time to think about which one do you feel is stronger in your life. And at what times has the more intuitive, creative, more peaceful side of you been able to take those actions, and versus when it's felt like they've been very constructed, designed, which one's felt more peaceful in the end? Sometimes it's a mix, Sometimes that's why we have the right and left brain, right? They're there to work with. And I like that Swami Satchidananda, he says that if you feel called to try to shift and change your karma, then that too is part of this impulse that's coming from somewhere. Can we give credit to it being that force, whether you want to call it just simply intuition, or if through intuition you recognize there's some kind of divine energy or universal intelligence that's coming through? Why are some of us called to do certain things and others are totally not called to do that? They're called to do something else. We're not all meant to do the same thing, but I think we're all meant to vibrate on our highest frequencies. And if we can notice, when are we feeling that that's freely coming forward, and when is that feeling blocked, stunted, disabled, or programming gets fiddled with? And when can we come back to that true nature that does know? And I think it's only when we can take that time, and many of us lead these lives where we're going from one thing to the next and trying to maintain just a day going through, and we maybe are taking care of other people, and it is hard to really let that calm, that peace come forward. But is there somewhere in your day, in your moment, where you can pause and you can recognize that impulse to want to do the next thing, the next right thing for yourself? It's always available, but we have to have that often. We have to have that pause until we're just running on a clean circuit. And I have seen a few people like that, where they're very activated and they just instantly do the next right thing. They don't have to go, what should I do? It just like comes to them. So, all right. I like the topic. It's super surrender. So I'm going to think about that. Surrender is a very powerful thing to do. It's not a weak thing to do. It's a very powerful action. And we feel that we are connected to something greater and bigger than simply our own limited mind. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.